That's right. Are we? Yeah. All right, it is April 21st at 5:45 p.m. We're going to call this finance committee meeting to order. Present are council members Barker, Cox, Shute, Hauser, and Marmee. First item, the unappropriated balance stands at $299,611. And the balance of the budget stabilization fund is at $744,048. First item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to apply for financial support from the state of Ohio 2025 NatureWorks grant.
The NatureWorks program requires a match of 25%. We are looking at making improvements that way for our application.
Second. By Barker, second by Hauser. Questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor send us on the full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item is a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to submit an application to the Ohio Department of Public Safety Office for federal fiscal year 2026 Ohio Traffic Safety Summer Holiday Enforcement Program grant.
This is a new traffic overtime grant that the city is eligible to apply for. It works on reimbursement basis.
Motion. Second. Motion by Barker, second by Cost. Questions and or comments? Are there particular holidays?
Well, yes, there will be, as there is with the current.
Current, yeah, okay. Any further questions and or discussion? Yes, Mr. Barker.
You said the current grant, but I thought you said this was a new.
This is a new one, but we have two overtime grants that are very similar to this.
Got it. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor send us on the full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is a request for appropriation in the amount of $4,160.
This request is a result of a grant from the Energy Co-op Foundation. And the funding will go towards the purchase of gas meters, which are needed desperately by the Division of Fire.
Very good. Motion. Yeah. Motion by Hauser.
Sure.
Second by Cost. Mr. Burke.
Yes, I just need to abstain from this, Chairman Grant support.
Any questions and or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, send it on the poll council signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Abstention is 1. That motion passes 4-0. With that, this finance committee meeting stands adjourned. Next up is service.
Okay, we'll call this, service committee meeting to order. Those present are myself, Rath, Neely, Cost, Blind, and Shoot. Up next, we'll have resolution 25-25. A resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service to accept bids and sell certain surplus personal property now owned by the city of Newark, Ohio, and declaring that such property is no longer needed for any municipal purpose and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're getting ready for another public auction at the service complex, a bunch of automobiles, bicycles, and these kinds of things. The emergency clause is on there, so we can hit certain advertising deadlines.
Any questions?
All motion.
Motion by Neely. Second by Blind. Any questions from the committee? Questions in the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing this down to council, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That'll pass with a vote of 5-0. Up next, resolution 25-26, a resolution authorizing the director of public service to participate in the ODOT contract for hotel declaring emergency. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is standard legislation that you've seen every year to allow us to participate in ODOT's program where they did the road salt out. And this year, after consultation with our street superintendent, the request will be for 1,000 tons of salt to replenish the salt that we've used over the previous year.
More or less than we normally.
I think last year we only did 500 tons, but we had a pretty good backlog. We've gone up to as high as 1,500 tons, but about 1,000 tons is what he estimates we can hold.
And reason for the emergency?
Because I got requested to be done and a number, and they did to be put in by May 2nd. But they did not send the package out till the first week of April. That does not give us enough time to get through our process. So I will get online and put our number in on May 2nd, but the legislation will follow soon after.
Any questions? Motion.
Second.
Motion by Neely. Seconded by Blind. Questions from the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing this on to council, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That'll pass and vote 5-0. Thank you, sir. Up next, resolution 25-29, a resolution authorizing the director of public service to sell certain city property as described herein by an internet auction.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is our once a year, got the need to do this yearly. Legislation to allow the city to sell things on gutter deals. The service director, I have the authority to sell things up to $1,000. Value of anything over that has to be sold to the county.
Hopefully we don't have any updates. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by.
Second.
Seconded by Blind. From the audience. Seeing none, all those in favor of passing this on council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That'll pass with a vote of 5-0. Thank you, sir. That concludes our service committee meeting for this evening. Up next. Apologies. Very thin one. All right, up next, 25-30, a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Service of the city of Newark, Ohio, to advertise for bids and enter into contracts subject to the appropriation of funds for the design and construction of the Horns Hill Mountain Bike Park Trail refresh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is legislation that we need to have soon. It appears that we have received a grant just under $400,000. We'll be done. But I need this legislation so I can put it out to bid.
That grant requiring help with match, just under $400,000 for us to spend on. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Anybody have any questions? Motion.
Second.
Any questions from the audience?
Comment.
Mr. Marmy.
I would like to thank Director Rhodes and everybody that had everything to do with the Horn stuff. It is packed every weekend, even sometimes during the week. I mean, those folks are just enjoying the heck out of it. They've got a system. I don't see litter. I don't see any problems. It's just been fantastic, and it draws a lot of folks into our community.
Generates a lot of hotel nights too.
Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. All right, seeing no further questions, all those in favor of passing this on to council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We'll pass with a vote of 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will once again, the service committee meeting up next will be safety.
All right, I'd like to call the safety committee meeting to order. Present are members, Mr. Hauser, Ms. Blind, Mr. Rath, myself, and Mr. Cost. Tonight, we are reviewing a resolution, considering resolution number 25-28, a resolution authorizing and directing the Director of Public Safety for the city of Newark, Ohio, to release the lien previously placed against the property located and known as 45 South Laura Street, Newark, Ohio. Mr. Hauser?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be presenting the legislation. So this is resolution 25-28. This is in regards to, as you mentioned, 45 South Morris Street. This property is owned by Mr. David Spivey, who's with us here today. The purpose of the ordinance is to request the removal of a $3,400 property tax lien that is related to a past zoning violation from 2023. It was related to a shed being placed in the front portion of the yard, which caused the violation. Couple things I wanted to share about this as I've spoken to some committee members. Definitely from a communication standpoint, this should have been handled better. The property owner certainly was sent notices. And what I think was a relatively minor issue became something a lot bigger. Certainly as the fines were continuing to add over months. But there was no corrective action taken. So the property, through communication with Newark Park, he had numerous communications, and the property was sent to, or the fines were sent to tax lien. That being the case, I do want to mention, and this is gonna kind of lead into some of the reasons why I'm introducing this. One is that the property is now in compliance with the city zoning code because a variance was granted. During the process, one of the things that Mr. Carter had offered was to have the property owner, in this case, Mr. Spivey, receive a zoning variance. Admittedly, that was not done, which is why the property, this access was gone to leave. But at this point, Mr. Spivey, after the violation fines were sent to the county for lien, did receive that zoning variance, and that was granted, so the property is now in compliance with the zoning ordinances. Now, I think that, you know, certainly the case, Mr. Spivey should have gone, as I mentioned, should have gone to the zoning variance board prior to them going to lien. I fully admit that, but I think, while I certainly appreciate all the work that our property maintenance teams and the zoning group does, ultimately, I think their fines have the desired effect. Obviously, it should have been taken care of at a sooner time, but ultimately, the fines have the desired effect. The variance was obtained, and the property is now in compliance. Again, that's one of the reasons that I'm bringing this forward. I think if the variance was not granted, and the property was still in violation, we wouldn't be having this discussion, and I wouldn't be introducing this legislation because the ultimately was not compliant still. And so again, I just want to say I appreciate all the zoning and property maintenance does to keep high standards in the city. And again, the reason I'm bringing this is certainly because the property is now in compliance. At the zoning variance meeting, there were no neighbors that came and spoke against, I believe only in favor at the zoning variance meeting. So again, this is not an eyesore, really, it's essentially matches the house. It's not an eyesore, it's not something that causes a lot of concern on the street. Again, it should have been better communication on the part of Mr. Spivey, but again, we are in compliance. So with that, I guess that's the reason for proposing legislation, and if the chair will permit it, I would like Mr. Spivey to comment on the situation himself.
Sure, Mr. Spivey, if you would, you can give, obviously we have, but if you give your name and address for the record. Appreciate it. Right there, yeah, just right here.
Well, I made a mistake and apologize. I did not do it.
Could you name and address for the record, please? Start with that.
I'm David Spivey. I'm from 45 South Most Street, Newark, Ohio. Yeah, but I'm here to, you know, trying to get this straightened out. And you know, it's just a lack of communication things, you know. I'm very sorry. I feel a lot of pain and, you know, rules, but I didn't know, you know, I didn't really know all of the details. Like I told him, I moved it, you know. Was gonna move when I came up here the first time. Didn't move because I just paid my taxes off. It's popped up. And so I'm back again, you know.
Are there any questions from the committee?
How many years was this in the process between the original application, and then how many years did it take for the bill to accrue to this amount?
I wouldn't say when, to be honest, I think I had to wait a year and some months. If I'd have known then, we could have worked this out in a better way, you understand? If I'd have known, I'd have did just what I was supposed to, just put it in there, where it was supposed to go, you know? They came out and looked at it and things, and neighbors and people didn't see that it was home, but I never been in a zone like this, you know? And that threw me off, I wouldn't have happened, you know?
Mr. Rath.
Well, as far as being in a zone like that, every residential house has the same zoning.
Right.
Let me, so. I know you received some fines. Well, at what point in time did you know that you had the opportunity for the variance on the zoning?
No, I went down and paid my tax, but I'm gonna be honest, I did get a letter from Mr. Carter. At the particular time, I was having death in the family, my mother, brother, and sister. And I just got told off, you know, I was gonna go take care of whatever I had to take care of when I go pay my tax. I didn't know it was gonna lead to this, you know, and that's what happened.
So when did you know that you could apply for a variance?
Applied for, which means in this,
You applied for a variance that the zoning commission approved,
cause
that allowed for that shed to be there.
I talked to Mr. Carter, Robert.
Was that before or after the liens were placed? That you knew that you could apply for variance? Or did you apply for variance without?
Oh, me, come up here and have a meeting with y'all. And,
Yes.
after I went down there and paid my taxes and seeing that this was happening, they told me what was going on, so I came and talked to Mr. Carter. You know, and, he told me to give him $75. I gave him $75 and he said, to a board meeting. And I came to the board meeting. You know, I was gonna tell him I couldn't move it, whatever, you know, anything that was right with it. And, they granted that night. They told me I ain't gotta move it or nothing, but they didn't tell me when I came to the board meeting afterwards, that I was gonna have $3,500 on my tax the next day. You know, so Ms. Carter said, I can do is stop by the office. I stopped by the office the next morning, boom, that's what it was.
So it wasn't a $3,500 fine.
Yeah.
It was an accumulation of fines over a period of time that added up to $3,500. Correct?
I guess what they told me, they just told me I had $3,500. In my tax cover this year. I came down and come to a meeting and tried to get straight with them. You know, and so I had to come to another meeting today. Got it set up with
Mr. Garcia, question.
My understanding, Mr. Spivey, was that you were notified of this opportunity a year and a half ago. And there was nothing done from that point on until it appeared on your taxes. Because when you called me, you told me that your taxes had just gone up $3,000. And I didn't have a clue what that was about, but I think we obviously must have had an opportunity to take care of this some time ago, but you did not follow through with that.
I mean, I didn't follow through on time. Didn't, you know?
Thank you. All right, Mr. Rath.
We have anybody from the
I just got a big permit tax.
speak on that
That's
side.
all, because, see, I took over the house.
Director Hickman, would you be willing to speak to this? Do you have knowledge of this? Oh,
Mr. Chair, I also have this information too.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hickman, would you have knowledge of this? Can you speak to this? Yeah.
Yeah, I found out about it after having a conversation with the law director's office. I'm not in favor of this legislation. I would encourage each of you to pull the case file from property maintenance. It has all the timelines and the officer's notes in that, which spells out pretty clearly what took place here.
Correct. Thank you. And Mr. Hauser, I think we all have the information, but how many fines in that time?
Let's see.
Given.
Quick count, let's see. Well, I believe, over that process, so yeah, the notice was on June of 2023 regarding, the property in violation. And those fines would have been at various times throughout 2023 and 2024. If this record is complete here, it looks like, in July of 2024, looks like the last citation would have been granted or would have been issued, I suppose, on the property. So I think in September of 2023,
What was the date on the lien placed?
Let's see. Um. Let's see, there was a letter. Let's see. I'm not certain, I believe the lien, oh yeah, it's like. Letter for tax lien 1/6/2025, I believe, maybe wrong about this, but I believe at the end of 24, we passed on those, to property tax lien, I believe, yeah.
All right, are there any other questions from the committee? Are there any questions or comments from the crowd? Okay, I will entertain a motion to send this on to full council.
Motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Hauser. Do I have a second? I have a motion by Mr. Hauser. Do I have a second? All right, this legislation dies to, no motions to go to council. That the safety committee is adjourned. Thank you.
Sorry.